Welcome, everyone. We're very excited to share our experiences at Stuart, and we've created a slideshow for you. And as we go along, each one of our faculty members and our students are going to share with you their experience and what their classes are covering. And I hope that you're going to find it as exciting and inventive and creative as we all find it every day at Stuart. So I'm going to bring up our slideshow and present. I'm in a present mode at this point. So you're going to see everybody sort of move off to the side. And hopefully you're going to see everything now. Yay! So we're going to start at the very beginning with this fabulous slideshow that we've created for you. And each one of our faculty are going to take the opportunity, and our students, to speak to some portion of this. So our first slide is why the arts. And our department has a mission statement, which you're welcome to read here. And I can read it along with you if you would like. The mission of the arts department at Stuart Country Day School is to create an art experience and knowledge of the arts, because it's a vital part of education, and the arts are a rich discipline that includes vibrant history, exemplary bodies of work to study, and compelling traditions. And education in the arts is essential for the achievement of the human, social, and economic growth. And the education of our students at Stuart in dance, music, drama, and visual art, as well as media arts, is always critical to their success. We just wanted to say that in addition to this, all lower school, preschool, lower school, and middle school students study the arts as part of our curriculum. In the upper school, at least 2/3 of our students participate in co-curricular activities, as well as the graduation requirement of 3 trimesters of art in whatever choice they make for their graduation requirement. So it's a full year of art. This is a statement of what we believe that art education provides for students: the ability to be creative and inventive decision makers, which is important because that's also part of our leadership endorsement and our leadership program at Stuart. Varied and powerful ways of communicating ideas, thoughts, and feelings. Integration of technology in a creative environment, an approach that embraces all learning styles. Enhanced sense of poise and self-esteem. Confidence to undertake new tasks. An increased ability to achieve across the curriculum. A framework that encourages teamwork and fosters leadership skills. Knowledge of the experiences of aesthetic engagement and intuition, increased potential for life success, an enriched quality of life, and a multicultural and diverse window into all human traditions. So we really do believe that we have the opportunity to influence and support all of our students to find their own voice and their own passion through the arts, that will become a window towards other things that they would like to pursue in their future. So with that in mind, I would like to introduce our lower school faculty, our art teacher, Andres Duque, and our music teacher, Victoria Shirer, and our drama teacher, Christina Kosla. And they will speak to you about the lower school. This is just an overview of what we teach. And we're going to start with art.
With the lower school, we practice drawing, painting, sculpting. We learn about the elements and principles of art. The program is very interdisciplinary. We learn about architecture, science, and history. And we look into different aesthetics to learn about art. Here we have a picture of the 3rd grade creating masks of animals from New Jersey. And they work with cardboard, paper, glue, and natural materials. We're always inspired by nature. We also learn about mater admirabilis, and we use watercolors to create the portraits They were exhibited at the gallery, and throughout the year we have different artworks on display from our lower school, the middle school, and the high school.
Georgia, would you like to talk about your experience in art?
I think art class is really fun.
We're glad that you think it's fun too. Thank you.
Aurelia, would you like to talk a little bit about architecture or your artwork as well?
I enjoy sculpting with clay in art class. I find that really fun, and the animal project.
Oh, thank you. Here we have some examples of kindergarten collage inspired by space and architecture, and the EASY Early Childhood Program for working on forms with clay and painting with glazes. We had the Lion King performance, and all the students from the lower school created masks inspired by the animals of Africa, working with cardboard, oil pastels, paint, gluing, collage, and they were in an exhibit at the gallery at the school. We also work with collage, paper, cardboard to create dioramas inspired by New Jersey animals in 3rd grade. And this is something that we have been doing in different levels. The students learn how to sketch, draw, and then design their structures. We look at our artists who have been doing this kind of work as well, like Joseph Cornell, and visiting the museums of natural history help the students think about their strategies to create their work.
Thank you, Mr. Duque.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Victoria Shirer. I'm the music teacher for the early childhood and the lower school. On the screen, you can see some images from one of our signature events in the lower school called Veni Emmanuel, our Christmas concert every year. And in these photos, our students are demonstrating their skills where they are able to read music and perform on a variety of different instruments. If a student goes through our lower school music program K through 4, it is our goal that when they leave the lower school, they are fluent in reading music. And you can see from some of the videos that we have that our students really are fluent in reading music. And Georgia and Aurelia, if you would like to say anything, just let me know. One of my favorite things that I have done working in the lower school is I get to work with students like Aurelia and Georgia in the 4th grade musical, and that is a great culminating event of all their work that they have done in kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade, and they're able to put all of their music reading skills to use. In order to get to that 4th grade capstone project, we use a variety of classroom instruments like Orff xylophones and metallophones, recorders, keyboards, and handbells. And of course, our students are always singing alone and with each other to strengthen their vocal skills as well. And Georgia and Aurelia and Ms. Kosla and I have been working very hard in recent weeks on our 4th grade musical, which we are still planning to put on, right, Aurelia? Right, Georgia? They have been making recordings of themselves, singing their songs, and we will be doing the lines as well. And they, as well as their classmates, have been putting forth a great effort. And it just shows what Stuart girls can do, even in the face of something really difficult.
And I'll start to transition to drama here because what Victoria was speaking about was something that I find so inspiring. Our girls are constantly meeting their challenge with the utmost courage and confidence in themselves. And I think that our arts programs really foster that. I'm fortunate enough to be able to start teaching drama at the kindergarten level at Stuart. And what we really do is we try to scaffold skills like storytelling, collaboration, and character building starting at the earliest level. So you'll be able to see in the coming photos that there is a progression of our space and our performances. The photo on the screen here is from our 2nd grade Lunar New Year celebration. I teach theology in the lower school as well, so I'm able to meld those two subjects and present origin plays for different faith traditions. We celebrate Lunar New Year, we celebrate Diwali, so we try to incorporate everyone's home faiths into our traditions at Stuart. And if you can go to the next slide, you'll see that our students are here performing in our Stuart Little Theater. So we're moving from the smaller, more confined space of Millie's Garden to a more professional theater space. And you see here that they are working on their JK2 variety show. And that was an opportunity for all of our students at each grade level to showcase a specific skill. We had kindergarten put on a pantomime performance. We had 1st grade work on playwriting, so we had staged readings of their performances, and our 2nd graders were the hosts. Our skill for that year for our junior kindergarten and our younger students was to work on joke telling. So that was a really exciting moment to get that courage up to use the microphone. But our biggest capstone experience, as Victoria was speaking about, is the 4th grade musical. And this is a photo from last year's production, Magic Treehouse Night at Dawn Kids. And what's really exciting is that our girls graduate from being in the space of both Millie's Garden and the Stuart Little Theater into Core Unum, which is our equity certified level space. And as you can see from our photos, we are blessed to have such a high production quality. And what is amazing to me is that our girls fill the space, this professional space, with their voices and their presence both. So this year, as Victoria mentioned, we are working on Willy Wonka, and both Georgia and Aurelia have been working really hard on that process, and it is a year-long journey from casting to production. Georgia, can you tell us what is your favorite part of doing the musical at Stuart, or what is something unique?
I like my favorite part of doing the musical at Stuart is that everyone gets a solo part at some point, and everyone gets a line, and everyone gets an equal part.
I love that too, Georgia. I think we do a really great job at honoring each student where she is, looking at our students who are maybe a bit more shy and stepping onto the stage is a huge accomplishment, or our students who really love to shine and to ham it up there on stage. We're able to bring all of those students together and work on a more ensemble-based production. So we really pride ourselves on making sure that each student meets that challenge of a solo singing line and solo speaking lines in all of our productions. And that goes for not only our 4th grade musical, but up through the upper school as well. Aurelia, what's your favorite part of doing the musical at Stuart?
Well, I like that we all work together, and I get to spend so much time with my friends that are in the other homeroom.
Yeah, I agree. It's a really great opportunity for us to come all together. And regardless of whether you're playing a member of the Bucket family or one of Charlie's friends or one of the other children or parents that's touring the factory, we're all putting in that same amount of work. And I think that our students consistently rise to the occasion and really inspire me with their performances.
Thank you, Ms. Kosla. Thank you, 4th grade girls. We're going to move to middle school now. Our middle school starts in 5th grade and runs through 8th grade, and our faculty for the middle school arts classes are Phyllis Wright and Erin Camburn and myself, Jan Baldwin. So we're going to start with art with Ms. Wright.
Have to unmute myself. Phyllis Wright, this is my 13th year at Stuart. And I've been teaching middle school and upper school for all of those years. So I've watched a lot of girls go through our program. And it's a very heartwarming experience to watch them blossom, to express themselves, to learn to be more confident, to be able to be resilient and push forward. Those are some of the things we learn in art. And beyond just the artistic, we learn to be willing to share and support each other, and again, take some risks. The 5th grade program is 2-dimensional art, so we really focus on the basics. Sixth grade is three-dimensional art, and so we work with sculptural elements. It's often clay. Right now, because they're virtual learners, they're out making sculptures from materials they're finding in the environment. They're actually making clay from natural materials. They're making wind chimes. So we've been able to adapt and work together to, even in this environment, to really forge ahead. Seventh graders do a wildlife encounter. They choose an animal that they want to work with for the whole trimester, and they create works of art in various media throughout the trimester, including totems that you're looking at now, inspired by Northwest Native American art and culture. They do research, they do presentations, so they really incorporate their knowledge of Northwest Native American art, the understanding of the culture into their work. So it's not, it's always world-based. It's always interested in widening their circle of understanding. And the next would be sixth grade. They are working with three-dimensional art. These are chairs that are designed for a particular client. Unfortunately, the client isn't available right now, but it's a little Easter bunny, and it's a little pet that all of the girls made the chair to sit in. And it has to be structurally sound. It has to be aesthetic. So they really have to think about all these elements when they're designing. It has to be looked at from all sides. These are girls love fashion, right? They are really interested in fashion, and these are shoe designs made with unusual materials. I'd like to kind of bring in Brittany, because she's here as a guest tonight to talk a little bit about her experience in art. And she's been at Stuart since sixth grade. She's now in eighth grade, so she's at the top of the middle school, ready to launch herself into the upper school. And so I'd love to hear a little bit that you had to say, Brittany. I know you had some enthusiasm about the program.
Yeah, so like with the animal project, I enjoyed that in seventh grade, where we got to pick our own animal, and we had to first draw it and then turn it into a totem. And I remember when we first started that project, my animal was a polar bear. I did not know how to draw a polar bear, and by the end of a couple of class periods, I had my artwork, and it was just really nice to see it all come together, and then to make a totem out of it. And it was just a nice feeling that I created something from my own two hands.
Yeah. I just want to cry when I hear that, because that is so rewarding to have an idea and then to bring it to fruition. And thank you, Brittany. Thank you for that. That's wonderful. So
I'm going to turn this to Erin Camburn.
Hello, I'm Erin, and I teach music in the middle school and in the upper school as well. So the music classes at Stuart are, we cover music theory, we cover composition and performance skills at all grade levels. In the general music classes, we focus the fifth grade around composition on a makey, which is a circuit board controller that the girls are able to design their own instrument. And actually, if we want to hit play, we can see one in action here. If the thing works. Sometimes it works. So we actually have the girls doing some composition through that. That kid in particular made a glove out of foil that was a conductive material and was able to sort of play some pitches on that. I'm not sure if it's working right now, but we can let it do its thing. In sixth grade, the girls compose using GarageBand, which is an app on their iPads, and they really get into loops and ostinatos, layering and understanding form through GarageBand that way. In seventh grade, the students, they kind of go back to a little bit more traditional instrument in learning how to play basic guitar. basic guitar skills. And their final project is to play a song of their own choosing. And actually, that's what we're in right now, which has translated rather nicely to this strange environment that we're in, because we were able to provide all of the girls with a loaner guitar for their time at home during this trimester. And actually, some of the girls have their own guitars, so they're able to actually have remote learning that way and have their own instrument to play on, which is really kind of nice. And then in 8th grade, I collaborate with Miss Baldwin for the 8th grade musical. So actually, some of the girls here have been a part of those things. The other thing that I run, which is a co-curricular activity, is Stuart Voices, which is a choir that performs that rehearses after school on Wednesdays and performs a few times in the year, and has a performance at a competition, which is at Six Flags usually. And I believe we're trying to find that clip here. This is actually a little clip from last year's performance. If we can get it going. But even we were singing A Million Dreams from the Greatest Woman. A little bit choppy audio, but that's okay. You can kind of get the idea. There's anywhere from 40 to 60 girls in that group at any one time. So actually, some of the girls here, Anya, Brittany, I think all these girls are in Stuart Voices or have some experience with the music program. And they can speak a little bit to, if you girls want to unmute yourselves and tell us just some memories that you have of the music program. Memories, I call them, because you're in 8th grade and ready to move on.
So I have been in Stuart Voices since 5th grade, and I always liked it because it was a nice way on Wednesdays, like it's the middle of the week, kind of the most stressful day, and Miss Cameron would always like come in and make sure that we had a good time as well as learning music, and we always ended up pulling off like really pretty pieces in the end. Instead of just like stressing ourselves out about it, she would always make sure that we weren't freaking out and that we were fine, and we'd always like pull it together in the end.
Thank you.
I agree with Anya with that. And also like how during choir and Stuart Voices, we get to like sometimes pick songs that we like. Like I remember this year, the 8th grade, we decided on Dancing Queen. We did it by vote, and it was just nice to pick songs that like we all like and we all agree on, and like it was just nice.
Thank you, ladies.
Thanks.
And I know that several of our 7th grade students who picked up the guitar have continued that, including Anya, to continue playing the guitar.
Yes. Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm going to jump into middle school drama. This is the class that Christina Kosala teaches 5th and 6th grade, and I teach 7th and 8th grade, 8th grade being a collaboration with Ms. Camburn on our musical. So Ms. Kosala, if you'd like to speak to 5th and 6th grade.
Yes, absolutely. So 5th grade is currently happening right now in this trimester. And what we're really focusing on is theater history. So we begin by studying the origin of Greek drama. And we are currently exploring Greek mythology in collaboration with the English classes. And by the end of the trimester, we will hopefully be creating Greek masks as well as models of Greek amphitheaters based on the remaining theaters that we have are aware of. And in terms of 6th grade, it's children's literature, and we're continuing those skills of character building and script analysis, and we're looking to draw that and look through the lens of theater history and seeing at how those skills can transfer not only to a study of the past, but how we create our own adaptations by the end of that trimester.
And in 7th grade, the girls go on and they begin to really work on characterization, because they are going to write their own play. And I think both Anya and Brittany can probably speak to their 7th grade plays last year. These are completely created by section and produced and then performed in front of the whole middle school and potentially some of the lower school as well. Anya, you want to talk about your production?
So for my 7th grade play, we decided to do a spin-off of Friends. So we did when they were all grown up, and it was a very fun experience because we all worked together to write this script. and we do it in separate parts. So I wrote the first part with my group mates, and it was also a challenge because we knew that we had to get to a point by the end, but we couldn't completely finish it because there had to be a middle. So it was a fun way to see like the different parts of writing a script and how like the editing process goes and writing with different people.
Brittany?
Yeah, like my play, we did like a bunch of cartoon characters all together in the Noscars, which is the not Oscars. And it was just like we all did our individual like parts of the script separately, and then we had to come together and we had to figure out how like to fix little lumps between it and how to like connect the whole script together to make it like flow easily and not just be like random parts. And it was like a whole process. There were ups and downs. But in the end, I think our production turned out good.
Thank you. I do too. And then, of course, the collaboration at the very end is a combination of music and theater classes together in the 8th grade, and we put on a major production. And amazingly, Christina Kosla was our choreographer. Aaron is, of course, our musical director, and I'm the director for the show. And last year we did Annie. These are all done in our large space, Cor Unum. They're supported by a professional pit band as well, fully costumed. They're really quite professional productions. As you can see, this one's pretty fun. And then this year we did a production of Frozen. And amazingly, I think you might be able to see some of our friends in some of these pictures. It was a delightful show, very appropriate, and we were so excited to be able to do this. We managed to get it on the day that it was released for publication, so we were really thrilled. And I think Anya and Brittany probably can both speak to a little portion of what they did as well in their 8th grade musical. Anya, you want to say something?
Yeah, so I loved the 8th grade musical. I've been looking forward to it ever since I was in 5th grade, even in lower school, because I'd always heard from all the other 8th graders how fun it was. And so I played the little Anna, and I had a lot of fun learning the music with all of my grade. And I've been in other productions, but it was fun being with my whole grade. And Miss Baldwin and Miss Kosla and Miss Camber, and they were so much fun, and they helped us get this amazing show together.
Brittany?
I agree. I was middle Anna, so like I was Anya's second counterpart, and it was fun. And I know when it ended, I was really sad because there was nothing else to look forward to. But it was fun to see like the whole set come together and like to see the whole production and all the dances, which some of them I actually still remember. And it was just fun to just do the whole production. Like you had to worry about costume changes because there were a lot of different scenes, and just like making sure you're always in character and knowing the audience can see you when you think they can't. And it was just like
Right.
It was a whole process, but it was really fun.
Thank you both. Middle school also has co-curricular activities. And these usually happen after school or in our break time at 2:30. We have an arts club. We have a World Arts Day that the entire middle school participates in. We have after-school enrichment programs that are always involved with the arts. We have a drama class that's improv and acting that's after school. We have the middle school players, which is a group of students that want to do another show, and it sort of changes from year to year as to what it is, but it's also directed by our resident playwright, Amanda Kutalu, who teaches English in the upper school. We have an ensemble program that meets not only during the day, but also after school. There's a beginning ensemble, a middle ensemble, and of course the advanced girls. And if you stay on tonight, you'll see some of our advanced girls playing on their solo instruments later at 7 o'clock tonight. And then, of course, our brother school, Princeton Academy of the Sacred Heart, offers a musical every year, and our girls audition and participate in that as well. And I think Anya can probably talk about that one too. It's always a joy to see what our brother school can put together and how the boys do it versus what a girls' school does. This is Middle School Arts Day, and this is just one of the activities that the kids were participating in. This is, if you can get a sense of what's going on. These are tending not to fully load tonight. It might be because there are so many of us on the program at the same time. I think you can get an idea of what they were doing. They were actually, I believe, they were doing some sort of classical Indian dance. Is that right, Ms. Wright?
Yeah, you can see me, and I look like a sumo wrestler in the background there. It was playing with syncopation, and there we go. Learning to hit the instruments and turn around.
It's a great day. We have all sorts of guest artists from all over the place that come in and teach our girls different skills beyond what our curriculum offers. And these are, again, some students that were making Southeast Asian architecture and some towers of power, which I think is pretty cool. And then they were doing some improv on stage as well. That was conducted by a New Yorker who came in for our Middle School Arts Day. And this traditionally happens as well. And then, of course, there's the middle school players, and this was a production that they did this year of Typecast. And that's kind of middle school in a nutshell. We're going to move pretty quickly to upper school. Our upper school has a variety of opportunities, and we're going to start with art, the visual arts. So we're back to Mrs. Wright, who teaches all of the upper school visual arts program that go all the way up to and including AP Studio Art. You can see what they are right here.
Hello again. I wanted to just say we have a lot of art offerings at Stuart. I teach some, Mr. Wilkinson teaches some. We feel very, very proud of what we can produce at Stuart. It's such an intimate school. First of all, Jan has written down the clay workshop, art and design, studio art, drawing, painting, printmaking, all about color, mixed media, advanced studio, and AP. So we have a lot of offerings. The next slide shows a student in the ceramics studio. Many of our studio spaces are light-filled. They have skylights. We have beautiful outdoor views, glass walls. So it's a great and enlightening, beautiful studio space. The second image is not that one. If we go back, Jan. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. The three girls in the top right are in a painting studio. They're in an advanced class. Below that is something from World Arts Day from the middle school, and another one from the middle school, and then we can move on. Okay, two printmakers on the left. That's a painting, printmaking, and drawing class. A lino print drawn from the environment around Stuart, and a self-portrait in pastel, one of our advanced students. These are 4 images that were drawn from the students' own photographs around Stuart, and these are pastels. And I have to admit, these are some of the most exquisite drawings that the students do in the advanced class, and they take it seriously, and they win awards, and I'm just very, very proud of the work that they do. This is a project I call Road to Abstraction. I have a great love of abstraction, but a lot of people don't, and they don't understand it. So I have developed a system of understanding how to move from a realistic drawing to an abstract drawing in steps. And these are 3 examples of their final steps that you can't really recognize what the original drawing was. The bottom right-hand corner was a clock. You would never know that. And that's one of the reasons I love this project. The girls really get excited about it. They learn something new. And even Brittany mentioned earlier, you know, discovering something that you can do that you didn't know you could do is really such an empowering experience. I'd like to bring in the AP girls if I can, Irene and Caroline. These are two works of theirs that they're showing in their AP portfolios, but they've also been with me in the art program, both of them since 8th grade. And I think, Irene, you were here in 7th grade, I believe. So come on in and tell a little bit about your experience.
Yeah, so I've been Stuart since 7th grade, and I really love the art program at Stuart. So like my AP concentration this year is like the combination of Western art history and fashion history, especially, and also wanted to include my heritage, which is from China. This is one of the pieces that's representing the Industrial Revolution in the 19th century. So like I used a collage style, and I included the steam engine in the background to represent the mobilization, and there were people in the front, and I was mostly focusing on the lifestyle and their fashion.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, thank you. Yeah. And Caroline?
Yes, hi. So mine is the dragon on the right side of the screen. I've been at Stuart since 8th grade, so I've actually taken art from 8th grade all the way up to, I'm a senior now. And I've taken art design, color, advanced art, and now I'm an AP. My focus is dragons, and what's I find really fun about my focus is that I've been taking different materials, different tools, and creating all these different beautiful pieces. And the one here is actually the printmaking.
Caroline, could you say a little about your overarching theme is?
Yes, so my AP revolves around a question, and my question is, what role does the dragon symbolize, and how can it influence the natural environment today? I chose this piece as one of my final pieces because I thought it really encompassed, well, the whole point of my project, because I have the world in the center.
It's beautiful. And you know, one of the things I always am very proud about the girls is that they're unique and individual. They're not cookie cutter, and they really find themselves and their own voice through our programs. And I'm very proud. Thank you so much, girls. You do me proud as your teacher.
Always. We're going to move to media arts and design arts. Mr. Wilkinson, Andrew Wilkinson, teaches both photography, and he also teaches graphic design, and I teach architecture and cinematography, so we share space. So Mr. Wilkinson, would you like to start by talking about photography?
Sure, I would. If you can move to the next slide. We've got a few images from a Photo 1 class from this year. So we have a lot of really good cameras that the students get to use, and you'll see a picture of our lab as well. We've got a whole load of Macs and Adobe software. So there's a lot of opportunity in this digital lab to produce some very interesting and fun projects. That is the image that's on screen now is closer to what we do in Photo 2, slightly more advanced and maybe more technical, although that was a Photo 1 student on one of our field trips. So in Photo 2, because we have a studio space with backdrops and light kits and a lot of props and things like that, they can stage a lot of portraits. So in Photo 1, which is more basic, we definitely learn how to use the camera, learn how to use the computer, do the 10 rules of composition, learn about the exposure triangles. There's a fair amount of theory that's involved. Photo 2, the projects are slightly more complex. The image that's on screen now was a project that was actually run by Photo Club, by Holly Zhang, and her crew photographed as many people in different age groups to show the beauty and diversity of the school. somewhat similar to the Humans of New York project. And they interviewed everybody, and they have quotes from everybody about who they are at this moment in time. There's hundreds of images. It's a massive project. So we're finding ways to put this online now in an organized way so we can share it with everybody. So that's the photo stuff.
And I'm going to jump in with film. I teach cinematography 1, 2, and 3. Cinematography 1 is basically learning the basics of why film has become an art form unto itself by analyzing film and understanding choices that are made through shots and moving shots, lighting, sound, editing process. And one of our students, we're struggling with this because I'm teaching it right now, and she is at home, and I gave her the word honor, and she created this little short film with her camera and then edited it as best she could through Premiere Pro, which is one of the programs that we use for editing. I'm hoping it'll pull up. And this is Nina. Oh, there we go. And she had to change angles, and she had to do close-ups, and she had to do medium shots, and she had to pan. So she tried to incorporate as much as she could into this by creating a storyboard. And then her sister actually videotaped it for her, which I thought was brilliant. And then she meets up with her dad. So anyway, you get an idea of what we study in cinematography. Additionally, cinematography 2 and 3 go on to do much more work about editing and creating their own works and short, fast films, whether they're 15 minutes long or even longer than that. And I have a student that's in an independent study creating her own film. And as both Phyllis and Andrew stated, we all send these out to various formats so that our students are actually allowed to be seen by people beyond the Stuart community. So they participate in student art shows and a variety of other places. These are pictures of my architecture class, and they create models, and of course they do CAD models as well, but they also study architecture. We are privileged to be in a school that was built by Jean Labatut, who was a master architect. And we have Princeton University in our backyard and their School of Architecture, and we use a lot of their artists to come in and some of their students to talk to our students as well. Several of our students, both Andrew's, Phyllis's, and mine, have gone on to study art professionally and architecture professionally, and that makes us very excited that we've started them on this journey. And here are some other of their basic programs. And then we also teach graphic design, and Andrew can jump in and talk a little bit about graphic design quickly for us.
Sure. These two images that are on screen from graphic design, which is this particular project is a self-expression project where they have to take an image and then treat it a certain way and include typography. And that it leads up to that because we start simply and study the elements of design, principles of design, typography, color. There's a lot of logo analysis and some logo design, and sort of dissecting packaging design. So this class has grown now, and we will have a graphic design 2 class. What's on screen now, this is actually from Leadership Through the Lens, and it is a photography class, but we sort of cover all sorts of things in many ways. And because of the climate that we're in now, we decided to design a series of badges and images that we could share, that people could distribute and publish and feel better. And this was a superb idea to use the map of the world and then the quotes and the languages relating to that culture. Very clever design there for Leadership Through the Lens. On screen now, this is one of the photos of the interior of FA2, where all the computers and cameras are and our projector. So that's where a lot of the magic happens. And I like to have it be somewhat like an agency, an ad agency environment, free thinking, free speaking, listening to music. And this relates to all of the middle school and the lower school in a way, because our hallways are so much fun. There's always really cool stuff on the walls. Younger people are seeing older people's work. Older people are seeing younger people's work. So there's so much in the mix that I think definitely influences everybody in that area.
Thank you, Andrew. I believe that Erin had to step out because of the virtual recital. Oh, are you back? You popped back in?
I'm back for a couple minutes, and then I have to go off. But I can talk about the upper school music program. So we have a number of electives that take place during the day. They range from composition to music history to basic music theory. Those are all trimester courses. I also teach a year-long AP music theory class, which is a college level class geared towards the taking of the AP test in May, which is coming up this year. The other things that are important in the music program to know about are the co-curricular activities such as the Tartan Tones, which is our choir. It is from grades 9 through 12. Anyone can join, and we take a trip every year to a competition in the spring. And we perform at least 2 concerts a year during the school year, and also our end of year celebrations, prize day and graduation. So here's a little clip, if it works.
Hopefully. Please load.
And if it doesn't, that's okay too.
Whoa, and that might be it.
That's all you get. So the little speaker here, it doesn't really do justice to the girls. When they sing in person, it's quite impressive. We also have an audition-based group called Vox Unum, which meets every Wednesday after school. That's the more advanced group that is by audition only, and they also perform throughout the year at school and outside of school as well in the community. We have also the upper school musical, which I think Ms. Baldwin will talk about a little bit more. So some of the girls here who've been waiting so very patiently, Campbell and Kelsey and Sonia, I think those are the ones I see right here in upper school. All of them have had some experience in the music program and can tell us just in your own words what you enjoy about it and what you think makes it special. I guess in that order, Campbell. Actually, let's let Sonia go first because she has to go to the recital, which we're going to talk about too. Go ahead, Sonia.
Hi, I'm Sonia. I'm a violinist, and I'm in the AP Music Theory class and the instrumental ensemble. And I get a lot of opportunities in the music department to play violin, such as in the winter and spring concert. And recently, I got the opportunity to play alongside professional pit musicians in the production of The Addams Family, which was truly an amazing experience.
Thank you. Campbell? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Campbell. I'm a junior. I've been in Tartan Tones and Vox Unum since freshman year, and I really love being in the choirs at Stuart. It feels like a community where the collaboration that we get to do and make such beautiful music, it makes me happy every week. So I love doing it.
Thank you.
I'm Kelsey. I'm a sophomore here at Stuart, of course. I've joined the Tartan Tone since my freshman year, and I joined Vox this year. I think my favorite part about the music that we have done here is just getting to bond with everybody who loves what they do and appreciates the same things that you do, and just finding that unity with other students around you.
Thank you.
It would be better said by anyone other than these 3 kids. So thank you so much. And I do want to invite, I see that Joe put in the chat here, we are hosting in 8 minutes our first ever virtual recital where we will have students from their homes in the middle school and in the upper school playing music for us, classical music that they have studied and are ready to present from their homes to us. So in the chat is the link. Sonia and I are going to go hightail it over to that room, and we'll see you guys there. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to quickly move through theater. These are the course offerings that we have that are curricular, and they are offered either every year or every other year. There's a comedy class, an acting directing class, stagecraft and design class, musical theater class, another acting class, and a pop culture class. And right at the moment, I'm teaching comedy, and this is one of our Instagram posts that we had in comedy. If it pops up, we post jokes in comedy, but we're studying a great deal about what makes comedy important. And that's me.
Class Instagram takeover. I'm Miss Baldwin. Our class is learning about what makes people laugh.
And we'll move on. I'll give you a joke. Oh, right here. I hope. If it will pop up. Perhaps not. Ah, there we go.
I'm Nicola and I'm a sophomore at Stuart. The types of comedy I like most and make me laugh the most are anti-humor, character, deadpan, and insult comedy. My favorite Christmas joke is, what do you call someone who's afraid of Santa? A claustrophobic.
And that's just an example of our crazy sense of humor. There are also some pictures here of our fall play. You will notice one of them is Campbell on the left-hand side. This was from 2 years ago, and Ms. Kosla is going to talk about this co-curricular opportunities with the fall play that is done every year.
So speaking very quickly here about the fall play, I've had both Campbell and Kelsey in our productions. We keep all of our productions to the fall play to our student base. So whether the roles are male, female, or whatever animal type or even idea or concept they might be, we always have them played by our students. And you'll see that we range, while both of these photos are from more dramatic and historical productions, we also have touched on things like Shakespeare in the past with an all-female Hamlet, as well as one acts and comedy as well. And you'll see in the next photo from our most recent fall play production, we discussed Radium Girls and got to delve into the history behind this workers' rights movement. And I think our girls did such a brilliant job bringing that story and that important dialogue to light.
And of course, we also do a musical. This is a little piece of Beauty and the Beast, which we did a couple of years ago. Last year we did Little Shop of Horrors, and then this year we did The Addams Family. I think I'm gonna potentially not play this kit, but you'll get a sense of how masterful this is. This was the opportunity for us to actually use projections. So we projected on the stage as well, and all of our girls run everything backstage, whether they're doing projections or they're doing sound or props or costumes or assistant directing or stage managers. It's all run by the girls. It's a truly beautiful production. And by the way, the whole thing is on here. This is a cast photo of the Addams Family that we had this year. Really delightful show in a very dark, scary way. This was an Instagram takeover that we had between Morticia and Mrs. Beinecke. And all they did was present a very short piece.
Oh, who's that looking over her shoulder? Oh, no, that's her second head. She has two heads? Well, you know what they say.
And of course, it's crazy humor. And then we have some other pictures. And again, Campbell is here. And I think Kelsey, Kelsey might not be in this picture as well, of the Addams Family. Absolutely phenomenal show. I think both Kelsey and Campbell can speak to how much fun they had. We also import young men from other schools who have the opportunity to participate with us. And they always bring their A game because we're so good. Campbell, do you want to jump in with just a statement about Addams Family, or Kelsey?
Yeah. I've been doing theater at Stuart since freshman year and before in the other musicals when I was younger. And it's really fun to do the musicals at Stuart. I mean, the theater community is such a tight-knit community, and we put on such professional level performances, and with the costumes, with all of the wonderful people that we have in the production, the sets. Shout out Mr. Cupid, and it's just so wonderful to do them every single year.
Yes. To add on to that, it gives you the chance to really step out of your comfort zone, especially with the different roles that are in each show. I can speak from experience that I've mostly done male roles, but that's been a chance to explore something different. and I've always had a blast with the cast.
Thank you. And Campbell did mention the fact that we also have a professional. He's a technical director, but he also builds all of our sets, and he is a permanent member of our community. So we're fortunate to have that on board as well. So we have a student art show every year, and we also have a professional gallery that Mr. Duque is the gallery director for. And here are some of the different shows that we've had this year. And of course, we create these absolutely beautiful cards that are sent out to the community, and we invite everyone to come and see our gallery. I know that we don't have a lot of time for questions. We have an Instagram page, and I would be more than happy to stay on for our families if they have any questions about the art department. But we're really glad that you joined us today, and if you have anything that we can follow up on or be more specific about, we will be more than happy to reach out back to you. You can always reach out to me, jbaldwin@stewartschool.org, and I can send you in the direction that you need to go in order to have your questions answered.